Ashley Lytwyn, registered dietitian nutritionist, and I am a dietitian who does not diet. I want to talk to you today about what are some of the reasons why we're promoting creating a different relationship with food without diets. Oftentimes we live in a society that is constantly bombarding us with pressures to be thin, pressures to have a perfect body, pressures to eat a certain way. And a lot of us subscribe to rigid food rules, we try different diets, we might even think that that will be our savior, be our saving grace. And we find that diets can really bring us on a rabbit hole. We find that we get away from knowing when we're hungry, knowing when we're full, and we feel very chaotic with dieting. One of my amazing colleagues and friends in our field of nutrition and dietetics, Rebecca Scritchfield, wrote an amazing book called Body Kindness, and I reference one of her flowcharts in this book quite often. So I want to go through a couple points of this with you today. The title of it is Diets Do More Harm Than Good, and I'm here to tell you why. So we're in this place, we're in this society where we don't feel good about ourselves. We feel that our self-worth and our value is tied into our weight or the number on a scale or the size of our clothing. We don't focus on what we're doing in our life, what ambitions or goals we're seeking, what successes we're making, and we're getting away from a genuine appreciation for what our lives are and having it being based off of physicality and the external image that we're putting out into the world. So you might have found yourself in a place where you're saying, oh God, I hate this part about my body, I hate this part about my body, I don't like my lower body, I don't like my upper body, I don't like my hair, my skin's too light, my skin's too dark. I mean, we've all been there, right? Okay, I'm not alone on that. So we get into that place and we say, okay, what can I change about my body? The quickest and easiest and most common thing that we do is say, all right, how can I lose weight? You know, maybe you heard about a neighbor or a coworker that has tried maybe you've heard about a neighbor or a coworker that has tried a different diet here or there, maybe the Atkins diet or paleo, or possibly juice cleanses or fasts. And we say, you know what? Let's give that a shot. Let's give that a try. Maybe that will be the answer to my prayers. So we start off on Monday. Typically, a lot of people start diets on Mondays. Have you ever said the term, oh, I'll start my diet on Monday. Oh, I'll be better on Monday. This weekend is whatever, but I'll be fine on Monday. A lot of us get into that mentality. You might start a certain cleanse or detox or form of elimination, which is ultimately creating a deprivation. We might go a couple days, you feel really good for the first couple days, you feel strong, you feel like your willpower is kicking, you feel good about yourself, you're like, yeah, I'm rocking and rolling this diet. But as the next few days go on, you might start to feel fatigued, you might start to feel irritated, people around you might be a little, standoffish because you're short with them or you're not as bubbly and as happy as you were a few weeks prior when you were adequately nourishing yourself. So you shut up your hunger cues. You're like, I'm not going to listen to you. I'm going to stay strict with this diet. I'm going to be perfect. There's a really funny thing that is circulating on social media right now. It's a meme, and it says, breakfast smoothie with berries and non-fat yogurt. And it says, lunch, kale salad with vinaigrette and boiled chicken. And then it says, dinner, salmon with asparagus. And then it says 9 p.m. rolls around, cookies, pizza, pasta, donuts, bakery items, and the whole gamut, because we find that when we're depriving ourselves throughout the day, those later hours of the evening is when a lot of people are pushing over to eat whatever they can find. And they're saying to themselves, why am I out of control? Why am I so chaotic with food? Why is this relationship happening? So then we start to obsess about food. We start to consume most of our days thinking about when our next meal is, planning who we'll eat with, who we won't eat with. Are you going to go to that social event? Are you not going to go to that social event? And food is now the dictator of your social life. A lot of people will say no to a lot of events where they might feel fearful around food. and fearful around certain people, even possibly along the lines of people saying something about their body or not being as far along with their weight loss as they anticipated with the start of their new diet. This obsession ultimately leads to really being stressed and being worried that you're not getting there fast enough. You're feeling frustrated, you're feeling hopeless, and the body actually starts to respond physiologically to that. The body starts to release cortisol, which is a stress hormone, and we go into a state of inflammation, digestive upset, constant worrying and rumination, and we're feeling like we're a prisoner to this diet. We're feeling like we can't get out of this, and the only way possible of getting out of it is either sticking to it and making it to that final day and really succeeding on that diet, or feeling like a failure and feeling like, crap, I messed up another diet, I wasn't able to stick with that diet. Why am I always failing on these diets? But the truth of the matter is, none of us fail on the diets. The diets fail us. And it's actually statistically proven now that 95% of diets actually fail us. 95%. And for some reason, societal pressures or pressures from our family or just the internal pressure that we feel, we always think that we have to turn back to that diet industry and say, wait, give me another answer. Tell me another diet plan or another meal plan that's gonna be my saving grace, that's finally gonna get these pounds off, that's finally gonna give me the body that I want and ultimately the life that I want. And that's where that relationship gets really finicky. You know, the question really is, why does being a certain number or a certain size dictate the life that you have or the life that you are living? Something to think about. So as the stress hormone builds in our body, along do other hormones that are really, really affecting our cravings and our hunger. Two hormones in particular, insulin and ghrelin, start to become all out of whack. Ghrelin is the hormone that contributes to a lot of our hunger. Okay, you can think of ghrelin, hungry, right? And that hormone is actually a beautiful natural hormone that we all have in a natural balance with insulin. But when we start to deprive ourselves and when we start to get restrictive, that hormone is out of whack. It's like, hello, I'm going bonkers. I want everything. What can I get so I can really satisfy this need and satisfy this craving? And that's internally driven. That has nothing to do with our willpower or our decision-making process. It is truly, truly physiological. It's more powerful than any decision you could make with just willpower solely. You know, and you might have heard the word hangry. You get angry, you get lonely, you get tired. We're hangry because we've been depriving ourselves. And again, it's manifesting in a lot of ways, out of control feelings, feeling like we can't stop eating, feeling like we can't stop obsessing about food, and it's ultimately getting more and more chaotic. Along comes the guilt and the shame. We feel shameful, we feel guilty. We haven't been able to stick to this diet. Why is it that whenever we've started a new diet, we can't stick with it long term? And the message there is, it's because we've gotten away from adequate nourishment. It's because we have gotten away from laying a foundation of food and balance and structure in your life, and you've become completely out of sync with your natural hunger and fullness cues. As this cycle continues, most people ultimately lead to overeating or binge episodes. Now, binge is sometimes, a nasty word. I guess some people really veer away from the word binge, and binge can happen to anyone. A binge could be eating a large quantity of food in a short period of time, or eating many different foods that you wouldn't normally put together, but it's almost a frantic frustration to just get whatever you can all at one period of time. You might also find that you can't stop picking or grazing throughout the day, and that cycle continues, and then we say, okay, I'll start over on Monday, I'll start another diet, I'll try something else. Maybe that smoothie option that I thought would work for me will work better for me than the paleo diet, or maybe the Atkins diet will work better. But ultimately, if we constantly succumb to external diets that are restricting us and depriving us, we will always be on that yo-yo cycle of deprivation binge, deprivation binge. So what I'm here to tell you today is that we have to bash that cycle. We have to get rid of it. And we have to get back to a place of making peace with food and making peace with your body. We have to get angry with the messages that society sends to us that we have to be a certain size or a certain weight or a certain fitness level. We have to start using the temple and the home that we were built in and be the best versions of ourselves. And by doing so, we start to say, how can I give myself proper and appropriate and adequate nourishment with whole foods, with wonderful fruits and vegetables, but also desserts like this beautiful pie right here, and creating a balance and a good relationship with both things. So I'm here to help you ditch the diets and get back to a level of nourishment, making peace with food and making peace with your body.